Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today we're starting day one of our Valentine's card series for 2020. Let's get started. I'm using this simple storage You Are Loved stencil, which I have absolutely fallen in love with. Of course, we're going to start out with some beautiful Gina K and Thermal Web Glitz Glitter Gel because, of course, I love everything that sparkles. And we are going to go ahead and get started on this card. As you can see, I had a couple of colors that I want to use for the Glitz Glitter Gel. And on the back of my stencil, I have my favorite new item in my stamp room, which is my Pixie Spray. Pixie Spray is a very light tack adhesive and it helps to keep your stencils in place, especially if you have ones that have a lot of design or might be a little bit more delicate. I just use it for all of my stencils now, to be honest, because I just absolutely love it. Now, since I'm going to have a couple of colors with this, I do want to block off some areas first. So I'm using my purple tape, and this is also from ThermoWeb. And I'm using, I think this is the 1.5 inch. I will make sure to have everything linked below. And I'm going to mask off that You Are Loved because I'm going to do that in a different color a little bit later. Now, since I have that masked off and I also have my little lines to my hearts masked off, I'm going to start in with this gorgeous red color. This is absolutely my favorite color. No, I shouldn't say that because I have so many favorites of this color, but this just happens to be one of my favorite colors. I'll put it that way. I'm going to put this on a couple of the hearts, not all of the hearts, but just a few, because like I showed you earlier, I'm going to be using 3 colors here. So I'm going to start off with this gorgeous red. And again, I'm being not overly careful, but careful just to get it in the hearts that I want. Now, you could easily do this in one color and your card would still look fabulous. Now, since I have that red in the hearts I want to have it, I'm lightly just scraping off any excess that I have and putting it back in my jar. And I'm making sure to clean off my rim as well. So when I go ahead and seal this up, I don't have like a lot of gunk on the top. I will also make sure to clean off my palette knife. And now I'm going to come in with this gorgeous pink shade. Now, all the products and the colors will be listed below in the description box. And you can go ahead and hit those links and head right on over to the store and pick them up. Now I'm just putting down that pink in the little areas that I want it. Now you will see I'm not really going into that paint or into that glitz glitter gel a lot because I don't want it to contaminate that color. So in this part, I am being very, very careful not to really bump up against that red because I don't want that to get into this gorgeous pink color. So I'm just working with little bits of color at once. I'll slide the last bit of that over and you're going to see I'm going to clean off my brush because again, I do not want to bring any of that red into that pink. Now I would just lightly scrape off any excess I have. And at this point, if I ended up blending colors, I would be totally fine with it as long as I don't contaminate my jars. Now it's reveal time, which I absolutely love. So I'll peel that up very carefully, making sure not to tear my paper. And look how gorgeous that is. So now I have those 2 colored hearts. Now I do need to clean this stencil and I'm going to set this aside to dry. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the background. I have a 6x6 card base and I do want to add a little bit of Distress Oxide inks in Worn Lipstick just around the edge of this. I don't need to go all the way in, but I do want to have some of that color peeking across the side of my card. Now I chose red because I also have the red hearts. So I wanted it all to be nice and pretty and cohesive. So I'm just going to lightly go around just the edges of this card. Now this is a full card. It's just not a card panel. So I'm making sure to kind of like hold it down so I don't get any of that ink underneath the card where I would like write my message. I'm coming in and I'm being a little bit heavy-handed across the top because I want to just have like that halo effect. You're still going to see the red of the card base, but I just want to give it like a little bit of a glow. All right, since that is done, I can go ahead and set that aside. Now we're going to come back in. This piece right here is dried, well, dried enough for me to work on. It's not completely dried, so I'm going to be a little bit careful here. I'm going to grab my stencil back. Now, I did clean off that stencil really, really well. And I'm just going to line it back up over those hearts. Now, this is a great way if you have like a couple of areas that you want in different colors. Just let the first area dry back. And when I say dry back, you don't want it to, you put your finger in it and it smushes. So it does need to set, but it's not completely dry. Now I want to go ahead and put down that gold glitter. Now, I still do have some of that Pixie spray on the back of this stencil when I cleaned it. So I still have that low tack going on. Just going to mix up my color a little bit and bring it into that stencil. And you guys, when this is done, I was like giggling to myself in my craft room. I know if like neighbors could see me through my window, they'd be like, why is she doing a dance in a room? This is how happy this product makes me. Like every time I use it, I get ecstatic over it. I'm gently pushing down some of that color into just the sentiment part of this. So I'm scraping, adding on. And again, I'm just trying to be careful not to get next to that red. I'll swipe off any excess I have. I'm going to turn around my card panel and I'm going to do the same thing for the little lines that are holding up my hearts. Some of them are solid lines and some of them are little dots. Again, if you just wanted to fill this in with the matching colors, you could, and you can even fill it in with black strings or silver strings. Totally up to you. Even if you didn't want to have the little strings and you just wanted to have the hearts, this stencil is very customizable. You can do what you want with this stencil. So I'm very carefully just putting in the last bits of this Glitz glitter gel. And then again, I'm just going to clean that off. And then I can swing this around and pull this up so you can see how gorgeous this is. So I'm lightly just going to lift that up. Again, being very careful, peeling that off, and look at this gorgeous background we have for our first Valentine's Day card. Now, I did get a little bit of that Glitz glitter gel underneath there, but I'm going to show you how I fixed it. I just came in with a tiny little skewer. This is what I use for my martinis, my olives. And I'm just pushing back that Glitz glitter gel into the A and cleaning off that other area. It's super, super easy to fix anything if this is still wet. So I'm just lightly going in, straightening up my lines, and then wiping off any excess off to a paper towel off to the side. But again, it's very, very easy to fix anything with this Glitz glitter gel as long as it's still wet. So just finish touching that up and I've set this aside to dry. Now it did take maybe about a good 30 minutes or so for all of it to dry. And now I can bring it into this card base. Now the card base is a little bit bigger. It's a 6x6 and this square here is about like a 5 3/4 ish. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this up onto that card base. Again, I wanted a little bit of that pink to show through on the background. So I don't want this stencil panel to reach all the way to the end. To pop this up, I'm using my 3M foam tape. And I'm just cutting down large strips of it so I can get it lined up all the way on the back of that card. I'm just checking to make sure that I'm not pressing too hard because I still have just a tad bit of moisture in this card panel. Now, since I have all the tape on the back, I can go ahead and remove this. And we're going to be done with our first Valentine's Day card for 2020. Now, I do have several Valentine's Day card series over on a playlist, so make sure to check those out if you want to be inspired by products I used in the past. And some of these products are still in my stamp room today. So just make sure to pull out anything that you have that's Valentine's Day card related or love related. And I would love for you to tag me. If you post them on Instagram, I would love to see what you're creating. Now I'll bring in that card base, make sure I have it in the right orientation, and then I will line up this panel and press this right on top. All right, and here is our completed card. Look at the sparkle. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you in another video tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.